They're so mad at Asmongold because he's right. Oh gosh, what is this, dude? What is this?
I mean, realistically, when are these people not mad?
Never, never, never. People are always gonna be mad about something. I'm just gonna be honest. People just create their own problems, like just straight up. Like
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Merry Christmas to all of you, firstly, and I hope you go into this Christmas period, these Christmas days, making good choices and good decisions. Okay, Simon?
Thanks,
make some
homeboy.
good choices. I really don't recommend picking fights with your relatives over, like, politics, but, you know, instead you can choose
Go to the gym and actually stick it to this year.
to be joyful
That'd be
and
cool.
harmonious. And if you decide not to be, I will come to your house and haunt you like a Christmas goblin of sorts. To the rest of you who don't celebrate Christmas, a happy end of December to you. Happy this week. I hope it's great. As for me, I will be over here channeling Morticia Adams because this is how I have chosen to look today. There's nothing you can do about it. Also, children, if you want to make my Christmas extra special, go and check out my tea company, which is linked in the description box. If you haven't already, I have many yummy flavors. And just an FYI, the winter flavors that I have.
Is this tea or hot chocolate? Because like for this one and this one, I feel like these would be amazing in like a hot chocolate flavor.
That you guys seem to really enjoy. They
But I'm pretty sure
are
it's tea.
getting quite low, and these are seasonal, so
Yeah, it's
they are
tea,
only
yeah.
around for a limited time and won't be back until next year. So I'm very low on my peppermint white chocolate. So if you like that one,
Like think about that peppermint white chocolate as a tea or as a coffee or hot chocolate. Like I think the hot chocolate would be the best one, but I can see it somewhat as like maybe nah, not coffee. I'm terrible with coffee. I've never really had coffee.
sure to grab a box. Now, it has not escaped my attention that apparently everybody is burned out on political talking at the moment, and for some reason that means that you all want to be entertained with people and their drama. And so today's video
I love people with drama, just not when it involves me. Yes,
is no exception. I'm just trying to give you what you want, Simon, okay? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. As most of you know, because it's been basically
also not when it's extremely serious, like, you know, a death or something.
everywhere in the news, the topic of immigration is very hot right now. Boiling hot, so hot it'll melt your face off. And so as a result of this, lately we've had a very big streamer talking about this topic, and as a result getting screamed at by progressives. I know. Water is wet. But the reason I find this reasonably interesting is because this person didn't say anything that was particularly extreme or crazy. In fact, the statements being made that people were reacting to are not only milquetoast, but I also just think generally common sense. So in a recent live stream, creator Asmongold said that people who don't make an effort to speak English should leave the United States.
No, it's not. It's not. It's weird. The Declaration of Independence is written in English. The State of the Union every year is spoken in English. Every law is in English. Every stop sign is English. Everything everywhere is English. It's an English country. It's an English-speaking country. If you don't speak English, you need to go.
I don't know why.
Oh, buddy. Wait, that's what people were mad at? Oh, shit. I just found that to be funny. The way he did that, you need to go. You need to leave. Oh, they might have been calling him that one certain person because of his hand sign, dude. Oh my gosh, I just thought about that. Yo.
But I really just didn't have a fun time at all trying to find the actual full long, you know, live streams that these videos have come from. And I don't know, maybe it's because I have Christmas brain, but Lord knows I'm struggling. I just want to have a really long nap. Also, for those
That's understandable. I think having this much attention towards him and caring this much about one person, like that you don't even know, I'm gonna be honest. That's weird. That's weird. If you genuinely care, like if people care this much that they're like furiating, like so furious and frustrated about this guy sending him types of stuff because they're so angry, I don't know what to say about you. That's all. Like, I just don't know what to say. Like, you got something in your mind that you need to fix. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Asmongold, whose name is Zach, and I'll probably just call him his actual name for this video, given I sometimes feel a bit weird using people's screen names. Anyway, Zach has a massive audience across all platforms, including here on YouTube, and like many people in the modern media space, he actually started off in the gaming world, making World of Warcraft content, and massively gained in popularity with his commentary on all sorts of issues. Sometime around 2022, he became more outward in expressing his political opinions, and by 2024 he had
that was like with the fat acceptance movement and stuff, right? When people were so sensitive about that. I have a feeling that's why he actually got I have a feeling that's why he went to this. And honestly, that's kind of fair. That's kind of valid.
Very much into culture war topics, was very critical of Biden and Harris, and has been critical of immigration. It's also worth noting that a lot of Zach's delivery is just very blunt. There's, you know, it's like a no holds barred type situation, and that's probably in part what leads to a lot of the criticism that gets thrown his way. Yeah.
At the same time, though, that's also why people like him so much. I guarantee you that's why people like him so much.
No, in addition to people hating,
because there's no little fluff or like, please don't get offended. Please don't, like, listen, you take this with a grain of salt or whatever. No, he just says it how he truly thinks, and that's completely respectable. Now, for me, I'm probably the type of person that would be like, please don't get offended. I'm gonna be honest. But this man just says flat out, you know, that's pretty respectable.
The contents of what he's saying as well. For example, Zach copped a ban from the platform Twitch after he made comments about Palestinians, saying they had an inferior culture that is antithetical to Western values. He later qualified this position, saying, "Of course no one deserves to have their life destroyed, even if they do things or have views I find regressive." In early 2025, people got really mad at Zach again.
Yeah, I was like, that kind of makes sense why he got suspended for that.
And because he said he wanted to go to the border and watch deportations dressed as Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. It definitely took me a second to understand this. But this is a gotta catch 'em all reference, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh.
That's what this is, isn't it? Full disclosure, as some of you know, I don't really watch live streams. I don't. I have a really hard time paying attention for that long, but I do watch, you know, like The Lore Lodge and Darkness Prevails, and I've been listening to a lot of Let's Read recently, which is probably why I'm having weird dreams about Wendigos. So obviously I haven't seen everything that he's had to say ever, but I do see a lot of his clips on Twitter a lot of the time from people, you know, clipping them and sharing them. And
I think he's a funny guy. That's what I think.
Once again, I think that a lot of his delivery just kind of comes...
I agree with like 30% of what he says or whatever, but I think he's a very funny guy. And I like that someone like that is in the space.
Without any preamble, no caveats, just straight to what he thinks. And I think it's funny because a lot of what comes across my feed is stuff that I do inherently at its core agree with. But once again, I do see why this delivery rubs people the wrong way. And not that I want to get into this because it's so obviously not the point of this video, but I do think that this kind of delivery style speaks a little bit to the fact, not even a little bit, a lot to the fact that people are done trying to be nice all the time. I think they're done trying to soft foot around issues and are now instead just going for the jugular on most issues. And I actually think we're going to see a lot more of this as the whole, you know, let's protect other people's feelings thing and, oh, let's not offend anybody just falls away and dies.
I completely agree, because the problem is, right, it's like, let's not offend anybody. Okay, we can be soft with you guys. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. The reason why is because, like, you know, now they're trying to shame people that are like the most normal type of people. And it's like, I just don't think that's the way, my guy. I don't think that's good for you. Like, I just don't. And so, yeah, that's bad. Like, why are we shaming people for being white and for being men? This is some bullshit. Like, we all know this is bull. Like, you feel me? So it's just like, huh? Like when you said F you, like, you didn't mean it as a joke. No, you meant like literally, like you hate me because of this or whatever. That makes no sense. Oh, got it. Yeah, okay.
Zach has also reacted to a couple of my videos on his channel and sent a bunch of viewers my way, which is incredibly cool. And he's also been super charitable to me too when he's watched my content, which I really appreciate. So I want to be charitable in return because I think that's fair, especially given that, like I said, you know, with this specific topic, with his comments here, I do agree with him. And you know, I want to make note of the fact that I know he's a polarizing figure and that some of you watching are probably like, he's not my favorite person, Sid, and that's okay. You don't have to like everybody. So with that
Yes, bro. Okay, you don't have to like everybody, but I still think it's nice to treat everyone with respect. I still think you have to treat everyone with a modicum of respect and decency. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we don't agree on everything politically. Like, you know, we might agree on literally nothing. We can still be nice to each other without having political stuff. You feel me? For some reason, a lot of people don't think that way anymore. Especially those somewhat very close to me, which is kind of sad. But yeah, so it's just interesting. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I there's nothing else to say about it, really.
said, let's focus on these recent immigration comments. That's why we're here. But we are also here to do one other thing. And now that we are snug as a bug in a rug on the Hell Gondola, we're going to hear from today's sponsor, Fume, because stopping your bad habit is very importante. Hey you, it's almost the new year. And you know what we do in the new year? We break bad habits. I will be giving up sugar. And you
Okay.
will be giving up smoking or vaping because
No, I'm assuming you don't mean straight fruit, because fruit is good for you. I'm assuming you just mean like junk food, you know, like sugar that has no fiber or anything like that. But still W. Like that's
You're
pretty
not
W.
bringing that energy into 2026. And right now you might be thinking, but Sydney, breaking up with my cancer sticks is so hard. And ordinarily it would be. But now you have Fume. This nifty flavored air device will not slowly turn your lungs into a war zone because it uses flavored air. Your
A good way. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that this is a bad way. I don't know anything about it. Okay, so I'm not even gonna say anything about this. But a good way to stop any addiction is to try to fill it with something else. So in that time frame that you would do this addiction, you just do something else in it, and eventually, as time goes on, there's something else could be a new normal, and then you kind of stray away from this. Still, this is still hard to do, of course, but that's how all addictions are. Okay, but yeah.
Fume has no heating components, no toxic chemicals, no batteries. It instead uses these yummy little flavored cores, which you just pop into your Fume and go. It couldn't be more simple. Now,
That's
you
kinda
might
cool.
be thinking, but Sydney, I can't kick my bad habit. But yes, Simon, yes, you can. I believe in you, and Fume believes in you. They believe in you so much, actually, that they exist in the first place. Your days of mouth lines, being a stink bug, and having to go outside in the cold are over.
No, I don't know if this has any negative effects.
And Fume's ever-expanding
So I can't
line
say
of
anything
both
about this.
flavors
I'm
and
just gonna
products
play it.
is going to keep you going for a long, long time. So don't lose hope. So if you are ready to new year, new me, now is the time to do it with Fume. So click the link in the description, scan the QR code on screen, or go to tryfume.com/Sydney. And make sure that you use code Sydney to get your free Fume topper when you order a journey pack. I'm pointing to the information. You go to the website. Go do it now. So the clip that I showed you earlier popped off on Twitter and sent a
I'm not gonna lie to you. For some strange reason, I thought that was his voice.
bunch of people in
I'm way too tired, bro.
a tailspin. In fact, the person who
crap.
initially posted it and put their watermark on his video, which everyone should know how much I hate that. Don't watermark other people's content. It's really weird.
Yeah, no, it definitely is weird. Yeah, I'm assuming that they do it because like they don't want other clippers on Twitter to like take credit for what they clipped or something like that. But nonetheless, it's still Asmongold's content. Like, yeah, it's just weird.
Way, this person accused Zach of crashing out and going on a weird rant. During the same live stream, Zach said that there are cultural factors that make some cultures easier to integrate into US society than others. He listed several of these things before saying that not being able to speak English should completely limit a person's ability to immigrate here.
Let's be real. There are massive cultural barriers that make some cultures easier to integrate into others. Obviously, right? There's religion, morality, like just different cultural norms, the way they treat women, the way they treat gay people, how they think about like, I don't know, stealing, and like a handful of other things. Like this.
Yeah, this should just be common sense. And the thing is, I could be wrong, but I don't even think he's saying like they have to speak fluently. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's merely saying you have to be somewhat proficient and at least try to, integrate into the society at that country. And this is not even surprising. I mean, this is what you would expect from any other country. Like in Japan, for example, this is what you would expect from Japan. I think you have to be in Japan for like 10 or so years to even be a citizen now. Some places they kick out foreigners for wherever they eat, and also if they don't speak like Japanese. Like this isn't really surprising. And if you compare English to Japanese, English is more widely spoken. Like it's more actually essential to know how to speak, I feel like, than Japanese. That might just be me though. Okay. But hey,
this is a fact, like their language, right? Like I would absolutely like.
Not saying Japanese isn't good though. I love everything about Japanese. Well, not everything. I love a lot of things about Japanese in the culture. Okay. But yeah.
In my opinion, like if somebody is not an English speaker, the chances of them emigrating, in my opinion, should go from like, I'd say like whatever the percentage is down to like 0. Okay. Like we don't need to be bringing people into the country that can't even speak English. Like what are we talking about, right?
And this is something that I just agree with. I think this is correct. The only thing that I would caveat here, and I don't know in the grand scheme of this live stream, I don't know if Zach did caveat this himself or if he thinks this himself, but I think that when you move to a new country, it's not so much that the expectation is that you are fluent right out of the gate, because really one of the best ways to learn a language is to be completely immersed in it. And, people often say that if you want to learn, go live in the country where that language is spoken.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the only area where I would say having a working knowledge of a language is really useful, but I don't necessarily expect people to be fluent. I think that...
Exactly. But at the same time, there shouldn't be I don't even think it should be possible, to be honest with you, to live in America all of your life and not know how to speak English. Like, that's just weird to me. Like it just is. Like not even a lick of it. You feel me? Because I have friends that their parents are like that, and I love them, okay? But it's just like, how does that even work? Like, how does that work? Like, if you get pulled over by a police officer or something, you mean to tell me you're gonna wait for a translator? Like, you mean to tell me like you can't even order at any restaurant you're going to? You mean to tell me like you can't, anything that happens just in life, you're just not ready for in America, despite living in it for all of your life for at least like 10 plus years? Like, that's just crazy, But hey, that's just me.
Learning as you go, having the intention of learning is really important. I just don't know why this is a controversial position. I think perhaps the reason why people don't like to hear this is because of, I guess, this more liberal take that you can take any person, in any culture and mash all these things together and have people successfully coexist without putting any meaningful effort into the things that actually foster social cohesion. And I would argue that language is one of the most important factors in that. And like I said, I don't know why this is...
I would say it's probably the most important factor, to be honest with you. But
controversial. I don't know why this element is being disputed. Obviously, the immigration topic is big and multifaceted, and there's lots of components to it and lots of negative components to it, but I would argue that it's, I guess, reasonably logical and normal to have people speaking the same language in the place that everybody lives. I don't know. Anyway, as you can expect, this last clip of Zach that I just showed you led to a lot of criticism and a lot of accusations of being all of the ists and isms.
Oh, so that actually was the thing that people were mad at. Oh, that's crazy.
Besides the person
Because I was like, they were going to something else, to be honest. I was like, that's what
who said
that
that he's
is.
crashing out, I did see a lot of other people on Twitter say that he's just hateful and racist and that he's, you know,
What?
not a really good person. He's got weak humanity because he's hating on
What?
others for innocuous differences.
This isn't hate. See, that's the funny thing, right? People misunderstand this. This isn't hate. Saying you shouldn't be in the country isn't really even hateful. I think this is just truthful because, you know, if you can't really be in the society that if you can't even like try to conform to the society that you're trying to go into, why are you there? You feel me? Like why? Anyways, does that make sense? Like it just
And yet, amid the outrage, Zach doubled down, calling his view common sense and suggesting that no country should admit people who cannot communicate in its primary language. Interestingly, though, Zachy Boy over here has been discussing this topic for a little while now. In another video from, I'm going to assume, probably back in March, like I said, I've had a really weird hard time finding the origins of these because going through live streams is hard. Anyway,
she seems so tired.
assuming this is from when Donald Trump signed his executive order in March to make English the primary language of the United States. I could be wrong, but anyway,
English was already the primary language. Wait, what?
immigration is being discussed here. And Zach again said that if you live
what?
in America, you need to speak English, explaining that other countries expect immigrants to speak their languages. Why should we be any different?
Yeah.
Listen, if you're living in America, you need to speak English, okay? Like, it's pretty simple. Like if you're going and trying to come up, well, what about in this one situation? Yeah, what a great idea. Let's create a part of the country that is totally disharmonic and distorted from everything else. That's what a brilliant idea. That let's add an area into the country that really is people are speaking a different language. No, it's ridiculous. Who moves to China and doesn't speak Chinese or Cantonese, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like, what are we talking about? You move to Japan, you don't speak Japanese. You move to the Middle East, you don't speak Arabic or Farsi. I feel
And at least some of it. But again, if you don't even speak like a lick of it, like what the hell are we doing here? Yeah, like at least trying to. You know what I mean?
like you've got a bit of a Mandarin. It's Mandarin. That's the other one I was thinking, like Mandarin or Cantonese. And like what are we talking about here? Yeah, you move to Brazil, you speak Portuguese. That's the way it is. Like this is the simplest, most obvious thing.
This is so funny to me because just this morning I read an article about how Japan is strengthening its citizenship requirements. It's extending the time that you have to live in the country before you can apply for citizenship. But one of the bigger factors is that you have to be, I don't know if it's like fluent or just very proficient, but you at least have to be extremely proficient in Japanese in order to get your citizenship.
And that's how it should be. I mean, that just makes sense, to be honest with you. That just makes sense.
I can say many things in Japanese, but obviously the most important is Hotu dagu tabimashita. I'm an expert, man.
I had no idea what you just said, but okay.
Get out of here. Although the criticism here is coming from leftist circles, if I'm being totally honest, I do find it quite surprising because I think that the position that Zach is expressing is quite a logical one. I don't think that his view is rooted in being prejudiced or partisan or even anti-immigrant. I think it comes from a place of actual practicality that is backed up by statistics and historical precedent and public opinion. We know that people who speak a country's native tongue have an easier time finding work and fitting in and so on. This is statistically backed up. We know that native-born citizens want to hear their native language spoken out in the world. And we know that currently there is very little effort to hold anyone, well, migrants really, to a standard of English speaking. Of course, none of this matters because all the angry progressives want to focus on is the fact that it excludes people or something. I actually have no idea.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. It's weird because I feel like, to be honest with you, most of the stuff that I've seen from Asman, like sure he has some takes that I think are crazy sometimes. Okay. Um, like some of the things he says about cruel and unusual punishment and stuff, I kind of disagree with. But um I think he's mostly a normal guy. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's so when people hate on this guy, it's like, damn, you would really hate like the normal person, wouldn't you? Like you just hate everybody, huh? Like, it's just crazy.
What they're trying to logically argue about this one. I think in the minds of most normal functioning people, requiring that immigrants learn English and be fluent in English is a good thing because it fosters social cohesion, it gives them job opportunities, it leads to mutual respect and being able to read road signs. But like I mentioned, this is a topic that Zach has talked about a lot, and so this is way not the first time that he's come under fire for making comments about immigration. At the end of October 2025, people were once again kicking off at him after he reacted to a clip of Hassan, the dog abuser Piker. In this video, Hassan said that he noticed more white people in Japan and has expressed how much he doesn't like it. Zach responded to this saying, if you're a foreigner in Japan because you're white, then what does that make every other person that's not white in America?
Since the last time I've been in Japan, this is my third time now.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more white people out here.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't like it.
If you are a foreigner in Japan because you're white, then what does that make every other person that's not white in America?
I don't think it's to even do with race though. I think that's weird. I think it's very weird from both sides. If he genuinely thinks everyone in America that's not white is a foreigner, I think that's also weird. But I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's trying to use Hassan's logic. I think it matters about how you're raised, culture, and kind of where you're born, but not like this part. It just depends. Because like for Japan, yes, it does matter where you're born because a lot of people do care about that there. But for America, it's kind of more so culture and just how you're raised, right? At least from what I understand.
That's not the kind of identity politics you really want to play. That's a bad way of doing things. The reason why there's a big difference between people like Abroad in Japan and PewDiePie versus somebody like Johnny Somali, the big difference is that people
Just how much respect
like Abroad in Japan, or some of the people that come here to the United States, actually the majority of legal immigrants that come here to the United States come here and they assimilate into the culture and they don't cause any problems. They're trying to just simply exist inside of a different culture.
When someone in the live stream chat...
That's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's not talking about like there should only be white people in the United States. I'm pretty sure he's just talking about like having identity politics and be like, oh, they're gonna be this type of race or whatever. Yeah, that is weird.
Responded and said that America is not white people's land. Zach responded and said, actually, it is.
And so that's it. America is not white people's land. That's Europe. Well, it is. It is. It absolutely is white people's land. We fought a war over it.
Once again, the response to this was what you expected, with people calling him racist and tone deaf. This is so interesting to me because right now on Twitter, there's this really big...
I don't know how to argue with that one. I don't know too much about history for that one. I won't lie.
Debate, if you will, happening, where people are kind of discussing...
So if you're expecting a response from me, I'm sorry.
...what it means to be an American and sort of where the heritage American fits into this. And these are people who can trace their lineage all the way back to, I guess, the founding of the country. And sort of how those people relate to America versus how new Americans relate to America. And not that I want to...
Obviously, that would make sense because if you think about the independence thing and, Harbor and stuff like that, like the T Harbor, if you think about stuff like that, then yeah.
Get into this at all in this video because it is quite muddy. I think if we're being intellectually honest, if we're, not being butt heads about this, we can all admit that the American colonies, which have become America as we know it today, were founded by European settlers, many of whom came from England and reflected the sun like this. See, this is why it's muddy, because now I have to caveat. This is not me saying that there weren't other people around during the founding of the America that we know today. Obviously, about 10 years after settlers came to the East Coast, then there were slave ships arriving, and so there are plenty of Black Americans who can trace their ancestry back to these early slaves.
Yeah.
Then you also had sort of all of the interactions with natives going on at the time, and the Hispanics down south, and you also had the Chinese come over in the 1800s for the gold rush. I mean, there's so much history here that just, I don't know, I don't want to get into it, but there you go. Everyone's acknowledged. Every freaking race is acknowledged. Now no one can scream at me in the comments because I will scream.
Thanks, senpai. Oh my gosh, I'm acknowledged by her. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it's still an objectively true statement to say that America, as we know it today, the American colonies were founded by European settlers.
Yeah.
So yell at me if you want to, historian nerds. I don't care. And whether or not you personally think that this position is right or wrong or correct or incorrect, it sort of
I think the people that are mad at him, I might be wrong, but I think they're just mad at the way he said it, to be honest with you.
makes sense why Zach would feel this way about America's founding and its founding peoples, given he expressed in another live stream that his family lineage in America goes all the way back to the Revolutionary War.
I have to see, like, from my perspective as an American and a Native American, right? Like, not capitalized, but just lowercase. A Native American, right? My family's been here for,
I was like, bro's black? Wait,
ever
bro's
since
like me?
before the Revolutionary War,
what I
right?
was
We fought in the Revolutionary War. Well, they did, not me, right? I wasn't there. But anyway, so my point is that, like, very obviously, I want to do the best, and I want to work in the best interest of the people that are in my country first. And I do want to put people in my country first. I want to make decisions from a government level that puts people in my country first. It's that simple.
Even this, which I think is a very fair
Well,
statement.
yeah, because it makes it so, you don't have treason and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what he means. I'm assuming that's what he means. If, like, eventually, like, you go to war with, a country that this citizen used to be a part of, you want them to be on your side, whereas not the other person's, like, other country's side. I'm assuming that's what he means
Wanting to
there.
put first one's own countrymen, wanting to prioritize the interests of
that makes
Americans,
sense.
resulted in him being attacked from all angles.
Nah.
And all of this has fed into this idea that he's just some far-right Nazi zealot. If you go on Reddit, why you would do that, I don't know, you'll see that people are saying that he engages in hate bait, that he does so in order to appeal to this far-right anti-immigrant audience that he's called.
That's considered far right? Well, that's surprising. Okay. What? Okay.
Motivated, but really I think that, a lot of people these
I mean, if that's far right, I don't know what the hell I am, because I thought I was, like, on the left or something. I don't know what I am. I just have opinions, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
days hold these viewpoints, and I know that they're probably considered rather extreme, but I do think that a lot of this is becoming normalized as multiculturalism comes under fire more and more and more. This probably will shock none of you, but I don't agree with Zach on everything that he has to say and everything that he thinks and some of the things that I've seen floating around on the internet. I don't agree. And you know what? That's okay, because that's normal. But I do very much agree with him when it comes to language around this immigration debate. I personally believe that language is one of the most important things that we have as a collective. It's how we communicate. It's such a big indicator of assimilation, and people love to talk about America as this melting pot. Okay, well, then melt. Prior to Trump's executive order in March making English the official language of this country, people loved to make the argument here that because America does not have an official language, then it is okay that people don't bother to learn English, which I have.
No. Every single thing in America is in English, and it should, be that way. All right. That's not an accident. That's not an accident. Like what? No. You kind of need to learn English, my guy. Like now. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
I've always thought is an insane position, but whatever. But English is clearly the language of America. Zach pointed this out himself. This is the language of the founding documents, the language that law and business and commerce are conducted in. It is the common tongue that we speak amongst ourselves in everyday life to be understood and to communicate. English is the language of this country. Does this mean that you cannot be bilingual? No, that is insane. Lots of people speak different languages with their friends or with their parents or
But these people want to basically live like Sakomichi in Moonlight Fantasy, bro. That's what they want to live like, okay? Except, at least for him, he actually was in a society that, had it. So it was like, oh, if you don't know common language, it's chill because we don't speak common really here. But these people want to have every single language but English. Like, it's crazy. Like what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is insane, dude.
With their grandma. But the important thing is that when they go out into the world, there is a shared language, and that is English, and that's what we all speak to each other. It is interesting because when I started working on this video, I was reminded about the fact that this is legitimately not like a radical or extreme position, because wanting to have a common language has been so normal for so long up until very recently. Outside of a shared language in the country context, I'm sure that a bunch of you are familiar with the fact that French, for example, used to be the lingua franca, or the auxiliary language, used between people in European countries who didn't speak a common tongue. So the common tongue was French. They would communicate and do business in French. Now that language is English because it's become the global language and the language that everybody uses when nobody speaks the same language. I hope this makes sense. My confusing and probably ineffective explanation here aside, my point is that whether it's English or French or some other language,
there needs to be a language that everyone speaks. Yes.
There is a need for a shared common language, a shared common tongue for people to communicate, and this transcends individual countries. Back in early 2025, the New York Times ran a piece that basically suggested that Trump's executive order about the English language being the primary language of the United States is somehow unfair or racist. The piece points out that this idea was actually expressed by the founding fathers and other American leaders over the years. You guys are gonna love this one. Benjamin Franklin worried that there was too much German being spoken in the United States in the early days. Theodore Roosevelt expressed in 1919 that, quote, "We have room for but one language in this country, and that is the English language, for we intend to see that the crucible turns our people out as Americans of American nationality and not as dwellers in a polyglot boarding house." Tell us how you really feel there, Teddy boy. Tell us. Totally bizarrely, this writer argues that because another language is harder to acquire as someone ages, it's unreasonable to expect older migrants to learn. Which is crazy? In part because of the aforementioned language immersion thing that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, you're my nigga. You gotta adapt, bro. Okay? You just gotta adapt. I'm just gonna be honest, okay? Adapt, like now, okay? Like, listen. At least make an effort to, okay?
So much of this article is incredibly annoying, but you guys are gonna especially love this part. Imagine a native Mandarin speaker who is new or newish to English. Let's say that she can get by just fine while navigating a menu or engaging in brief exchanges. Grand. But if she were being admitted to a hospital, taking a citizenship test, voting, or doing anything else involving detail or urgency, she would want to be able to use, hear, or read her native language. To deny her that is pointless and unfeeling. Why is a person who cannot speak English voting or taking a citizenship test? I'm actually quite certain that you need to be proficient in English to do a citizenship test in the first place. So, who are you letting write for you these days?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Times.
I was
What is
confused,
happening
bro.
here? Anyway, without going on about this for another million years, I don't think that it's racist or intolerant or xenophobic or whatever to ask that someone moving to a country learns to speak the native language of that country. And this, for me, also goes for English speakers. I think it's pretty bloody rude to go somewhere and to not make the effort to learn the language of the place that you have moved to. I think it's actually quite ignorant. And I think it's quite disrespectful. And you know, truthfully,
Same. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now for the people that are still trying to learn and just like, can talk briefly, but they can't talk fluently or even like that much proficiency or whatever yet, I think they should be able to have like a long-term visa or something like that, just to like be able to learn and stuff like that. But to not try at all, got me fucked up. Anyways.
am really glad to see someone like Zach, who's got such a massive audience and such a big reach, and people hate watch him too, which means that more of his ideas get out there. I'm glad to see him expressing these viewpoints and pulling them back into the limelight, because I think
I never understand why people hate watch another person. Like, why would you? Oh my gosh, I hate this guy. I can't take this. Wait, why am I watching it for hours on end every single day? Well, I need to. I need to figure out how to hate him better. Obviously, you know. Why don't I do something actually productive instead of hating someone all the time? That's really a question. Like, I feel like they have literally nothing better to do. Like, genuinely, if you hate someone to that level of extent, like, it's crazy to me, dude.
some of these pretty common sense components of the immigration debate get away from us because we fixate so much on the more extreme components. In the US context, and really in the context of any other country, asking someone to learn the language, and in this case English, asking for English proficiency, is a pragmatic stance. And I think the left's current romanticization, is that a word? Romanticization? It doesn't sound like one. We're gonna go with romanticizing. Their current romanticizing of immigration without assimilation is just so unhelpful, even for immigrants themselves. And I think really what it will lead to is this specific issue becoming more and more radicalized until that is sort of the prevailing stance. I think that more and more people get radicalized on this, and I don't think that that will achieve the ends that the left is hoping for.
No, straight up. Like, a lot of people ask, wait, so if you moved to that country like Japan, you mean to tell me you would just learn Japanese? You damn right I would at least try. You damn right. Like, what the fuck? You like, yeah. Yeah, I would. Like, yeah. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah. Like, dude. Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
In the end, asking that people speak a shared language is a logical step towards a functioning society, and the fact that we're at the point where this is apparently a racist position is kind of crazy. But like I said, I am always glad to see really big voices in the cultural space talking about these things and bringing them to the forefront and really demonstrating how important it is that we maintain a level of logic and intelligence when it comes to the immigration discussion. Now, on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Fume using the link in the description. As you guys know, they've been a long-term friend of the channel, so if this is something that you struggle with,
I've seen this
absolutely
a lot
check
of
them
times
out
on
and see if they might be the solution for you. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? I got a lot of responses to the last video that I made talking about immigration, and a lot of people were on the same page with me. A lot of people obviously disagreed or had different takes on it, but this is kind of in the same vein. So where do you land on this? How do you feel about people not speaking the language of the country that you live in? Do you think it's disrespectful? Do you think it's crappy? Do you think that it's really not that important? And
I don't think it's disrespectful as long as you're trying.
And people can get by like this.
As long as you're trying.
What do you think of Zach's comments and commentary? Do you agree with the fact that he is very blunt in his delivery, which can maybe be kind of off-putting for some people? Do you think that the bluntness is actually necessary and that we are so past the point of caring about offending people and their feelings? What do you think of this overall discussion about assimilation and immigration and people fitting in and people making the...
I don't think the bluntness of him is necessary, but I still appreciate it nonetheless. Because he's like a common thing. He's like a lot of things he says, as I said before, a lot of things he says is kind of what the common person thinks. And to say it so bluntly, because of people being so sensitive, to be like, oh my gosh, you actually don't think like all white people are racist? And it's like, yeah, I don't think that. And then you like, and then they're like, you must be racist yourself then. Like, it's nice to hear someone so blunt. Yeah.
Effort. Do you think that this is good? Is it bad? Is it necessary? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made...
And he doesn't really confirm that much to other people. He has a lot of disagreements. Like, even with his chat, he just says what he truly thinks a lot of times. and that's nice.
This far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback, even when you're yelling at me about history. As I always say, I hope you wonderful little chickadee people stay safe and well and make good choices. And once again, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope it is
Merry
wonderful
Christmas
and
to y'all.
beautiful,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Santa
brother.
brings you lots of fun gifts. And I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
But yeah, this is all crazy, bro. I'm not gonna like this. Shouldn't even be that much of a discussion piece, dude. In my opinion, at least. Like, I don't even know that much about history. I'm gonna be honest, as I kind of hinted at before. I don't know pretty much a lick of it, but okay. But I at least have somewhat common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I at least think for myself. I'm like, you know, this kind of does make sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this kind of does make sense. You feel me? And whether if someone disagrees with me or not, I at least treat them with respect and kindness, like how I think they like deserve. You know, well, at least as long as they aren't being like, oh, I want you to die. You know what I'm saying? Oh, burn the rich, but basically to be, but like as long as they're not like that, I treat them with kindness and respect. But no, Sydney Watson, amazing creator. I'll leave her original video down in the description as always. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day and goodbye.